Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they wake up every day without a plan. And if you don't design your life, someone else will gladly design it for you. Ode every dream, every transformation, every breakthrough begins with one simple decision to live intentionally. But here's the truth most people avoid. Without a plan, progress is impossible. You can have the desire, the passion, even the talent. But if you don't outline where you're going, life will keep pushing you in circles. In this message, you will discover why planning decides your destiny, how small daily choices turn into massive results, and the exact mindset shift that separates people who grow from people who stay stuck. Stay until the end, because the last principle is the missing piece that keeps most people trapped in the same year, repeated 12 times. A dream without a plan is just a wish, and when you look closely at the lives of people who never seem to move forward, you'll notice a common pattern. Their desires are big, but their direction is unclear. Wanting a better life is natural. Everyone wants to be successful, wealthy, respected, healthy, fulfilled. But desire alone has never built anything. Desire is the spark, yes, but a spark without structure fizzles out. A dream becomes powerful only when it is given shape, definition, and boundaries. That shape is a plan. Clarity is the bridge between imagination and achievement, and without it, a person can spend years wandering in circles, confusing movement with progress and effort with advancement. When you create a plan, you transform something abstract into something concrete. You take a thought floating in your mind and pin it down so you can work on it. Think of a dream like a cloud, beautiful, inspiring, but impossible to grab. A plan turns that cloud into rain, and rain into water that you can collect, channel, and use. Clarity does the same thing to your life. It organizes your energy. It points your attention. It turns vague ambition into precise action. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they never took the time to define what success looks like for them. They never built the blueprint. Imagine a builder showing up to construct a house, but refusing to use a plan. No drawings, no measurements, no timeline, just hope. That house will never stand. In the same way, a life built on hope alone collapses under pressure, distraction, disappointment, and the unpredictability of everyday living. The world is too chaotic for you to leave your future to guesswork. Clarity protects you from drifting. The moment you create a plan, something powerful happens inside you. Your mind shifts from I want to I will. It stops fantasizing and starts organizing. It begins to recognize opportunities that were always there, but previously invisible because you had nothing to aim at. When you define a target, you begin to see paths leading toward it. Before clarity, everything looks like a possibility. After clarity, only the meaningful options stand out. A dream without a plan is also dangerous because it creates emotional pressure. You feel the desire for a better life, but you don't see the steps. You feel the potential, but you can't connect it to action. That gap creates frustration. People say things like, I know I can do more. I know I have potential. I know I'm meant for something bigger. Yet they never move. The reason isn't lack of talent, it's lack of direction. Without a plan, even strong ambition becomes heavy. It weighs you down instead of pulling you forward. Clarity gives your mind peace. It tells your emotions, we're moving. It tells your effort, here's where to go. It tells your habits, here's how we build this. With a plan, even small steps feel meaningful because you know they are part of a bigger picture. A person who takes one small step toward a clear goal feels more progress than someone taking 10 random steps without direction. The greatest momentum in life comes not from effort, but from aligned effort. Clarity also forces honesty. When you write down what you want, you expose what you've been avoiding. You see whether your desires match your habits. You see whether your ambitions match your discipline. Many people prefer to keep their dreams vague because vagueness protects them from accountability. Someday is safe. One day is comfortable. But the moment you create a plan, someday becomes starting Monday. One day becomes this month. Clarity removes excuses. A plan also builds commitment. The mind respects what you define. When you say, "I want to get healthy," your mind shrugs because the path is unclear. But if you say, "I will exercise for 20 minutes every morning at 7 a.m., your mind knows exactly what to prepare for. It can measure it, it can track it, it can follow it. Specificity strengthens commitment. The clearer the plan, the stronger the follow-through. A dream requires clarity not just in the destination, but also in the why behind it. People underestimate how much power a strong reason has. When your reason is weak, your excuses will be stronger. When your reason is clear, obstacles become manageable. When you know exactly why you want something, planning becomes easier because your emotions support your logic. Clarity aligns the heart and the mind. Another crucial part of planning is breaking the big dream into simple steps. Many people don't plan because they believe their dream is too big or too complicated. They see the mountain and get overwhelmed. But a plan shrinks the mountain into a series of small, doable actions. If you want to start a business, the first step isn't become successful. The first step is research the market. If you want to write a book, the first step is outline chapter 1. If you want financial freedom, the first step is track expenses for 30 days. A dream becomes less intimidating when you turn it into a sequence. Clarity also helps you manage your time. Time is the raw material of life, and without a plan, time slips through your fingers. You can lose a decade without noticing if you're not clear on where you're going. But when you have a plan, your days gain purpose. You wake up with direction. You can look at your schedule and see whether it matches your future. Clarity turns time into a tool, something you use, not something that uses you. A dream without a plan is vulnerable to distraction. Modern life offers unlimited temptations, entertainment, noise, comparison, comfort. Without clarity, you drift toward whatever feels easy in the moment. With clarity, you protect your focus. You can say no to what doesn't matter because you know exactly what does. Distraction loses power when purpose gains definition. And one of the most overlooked benefits of planning is how it builds confidence. Every time you complete part of your plan, no matter how small, you gain evidence that you can trust yourself. Confidence isn't built by repeating affirmations, it's built by keeping commitments. Clarity helps you do that because clarity gives you targets you can actually hit. When you look at people who have created meaningful success, whether in health, career, relationships, or personal growth, you'll notice they aren't always the smartest, the fastest, or the most talented. But they are planners. They are clear. They know what they're aiming for. They don't wander. They don't rely on motivation alone. They rely on structure. They translate their dreams into action steps. A dream becomes achievable the moment you decide to give it form. Clarity brings power. A plan brings direction. And once direction is set, progress becomes inevitable. Daily disciplines turn your plan into measurable results. And this is one of the most transformative truths a person can ever understand. Big goals are inspiring, but they are also intimidating. They can feel distant, overwhelming, or even impossible. Yet small daily disciplines take that huge dream and break it into pieces you can handle. These small actions are the difference between someone who moves forward and someone who stays exactly where they are. Discipline is the tool that converts intention into reality. It takes what you've dreamed of and slowly, steadily turns it into something you can touch, measure, and celebrate. A plan without discipline is just a list of ideas. It may look impressive on paper, but it doesn't change your life until you start working on it every day. Success isn't built in one dramatic moment. It's built in the quiet, consistent moments that no one sees. Some people wait for motivation, but motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Motivation might start the engine, but discipline keeps the vehicle moving. The person who practices small disciplines daily gains momentum that compounds over time. What starts as a tiny routine becomes a powerful force that pushes your entire life forward. Daily disciplines are often simple, and that's what makes them easy to ignore. Reading 10 pages, saving a small amount of money, exercising for a brief period, reviewing your goals, practicing your skill. These actions don't look life-changing at first, but small doesn't mean insignificant. Every great achievement is built on repeated small steps. A tree grows from a seed. A building starts with one brick. A journey begins with a single step. When you repeat that step daily, the distance you can cover becomes astonishing. Most people underestimate what they can accomplish in a year of consistent discipline because they're too busy overestimating what they can accomplish in a day of intense effort. There's a powerful psychological shift that happens when you commit to daily discipline. You start to see yourself differently. You begin to trust your own word. Every time you follow through on a small discipline, you tell your mind, I can rely on myself. This builds self-respect. Self-respect strengthens confidence. Confidence fuels more discipline. It becomes a cycle of growth. On the other hand, every time you break a commitment to yourself, even a small one, you weaken your trust in your own decisions. This is why discipline isn't just a practical strategy. It's an emotional foundation. It shapes the relationship you have with yourself. Another important part of daily disciplines is their ability to increase your capacity. You may start with a small action, but over time, your capability expands. If you can do 10 minutes today, soon you can do 20. If you can save a small amount this month, soon you can save more. Discipline stretches you gradually. Many people avoid starting because they think they have to begin big. But beginning small is the smartest way to build strength. You don't lift the heaviest weight on the first day. You start with something you can handle, and through repetition, your capacity grows naturally. Daily disciplines also create structure in your life. A structured life is a powerful life because structure eliminates confusion. When you know what you need to do each day, you stop wasting energy on decision making. Many people exhaust their willpower trying to decide what to do, when to do it, and how to start. But someone with daily disciplines wakes up with clarity. They have already made the decision ahead of time. Discipline becomes the autopilot of success. It removes guesswork, excuses, and emotional resistance. When your day has anchors, actions you perform no matter what, your life becomes anchored too. Discipline is also the great neutralizer of talent. Some people are naturally gifted, but gifts fade when they aren't used. Discipline, however, compounds. A disciplined person will eventually outperform a talented person who refuses to practice consistency. Talent is a spark. Discipline is the fuel. With fuel, even a small spark becomes a fire. Without fuel, even a powerful spark dies. Daily disciplines give an average person the ability to create extraordinary results. They level the playing field. They make success accessible to anyone willing to do the work. Small daily actions also protect you from procrastination. Procrastination usually shows up when the goal feels too large or the path feels unclear. Discipline breaks the goal into manageable steps and makes the path simple. Just do today's step. That's it. You don't need to solve the whole journey. You don't need to have every detail figured out. You just need to master today. When you focus on daily disciplines, the future becomes less scary because the present becomes more structured. You stop putting things off because the next step is always small and doable. Another overlooked benefit of daily disciplines is the sense of progress they create. Humans are motivated by progress. When you see yourself advancing, even at a slow pace, you feel energized. You feel alive. You feel hopeful. Daily discipline guarantees progress because it guarantees movement. Even if the progress is small, it is real, and real progress compounds. The person who improves by 1% each day becomes twice as strong in just over 2 months and significantly stronger over a year. This compounding effect is invisible day by day, but undeniable over time. Daily disciplines also shape your identity. What you do repeatedly becomes who you believe you are. If you read daily, you begin to see yourself as someone who learns. If you exercise daily, you see yourself as someone who values health. If you practice your craft daily, you see yourself as a creator, a builder, a professional. Identity influences behavior. When you believe you are someone who follows through, you naturally act in ways that support that belief. Discipline creates identity, and identity sustains discipline. Another key idea is that discipline builds freedom. Many people think discipline creates restriction, but the truth is that discipline frees you from chaos, stress, and inconsistency. It frees you from last-minute panic, from wasted time, from regrettable decisions. When you practice discipline daily, you gain control over your time, your habits, and your outcomes. You no longer wait for life to happen to you. You direct it. Discipline gives you freedom because it gives you mastery. Daily disciplines also have the power to reshape your environment. When you commit to consistent actions, your environment begins to adapt. The people around you adjust. Your schedule adjusts. Your priorities adjust. Eventually, your entire lifestyle aligns with your goals. This alignment makes success feel natural rather than forced. Your environment becomes supportive instead of distracting. This is why discipline eventually becomes easier. The world around you starts reinforcing your behavior instead of fighting it. Daily discipline is the quiet engine behind every achievement. It doesn't shout. It doesn't seek attention. It simply repeats the small action that needs to be done over and over until results emerge. Every result you admire in someone else is built on disciplines you didn't see. Every dream that becomes reality is powered by consistent action, not lucky breaks. Discipline is the most reliable force in the world because it works the same way for everyone who uses it. Your plan must evolve as you grow because life isn't static and neither are you. The person you are today is not the same person you were 5 years ago, and the person you'll become 5 years from now will have new insights, new skills, new experiences, and new perspectives. A fixed plan cannot guide a changing person. Growth demands adjustment. If your goals grow but your plan stays the same, you create a gap between who you are becoming and what you are doing. And that gap quietly slows your progress. Many people make the mistake of believing that once a plan is written, it must be followed forever. But a plan is a living structure. It requires updating, refining, reshaping. When you evolve, your plan must evolve with you. At the beginning of a journey, your plan will naturally be simple, maybe even incomplete. That's expected. You don't need the perfect roadmap to begin. You only need a direction. But once you start walking that path, you discover things you couldn't have seen before. You gain experience. You learn what works and what doesn't. You discover strengths you didn't know you had and weaknesses that need attention. You see opportunities that weren't visible at the start. These new pieces of information are signals that your plan needs to be updated. Your future success depends on your willingness to make these adjustments without fear or hesitation. Many people hold on to outdated plans because they feel emotionally attached to their original ideas. They want things to go exactly the way they imagined. But progress rarely happens in straight lines. Life brings detours, surprises, lessons, challenges, and unexpected openings. If you cling too tightly to an old plan, you might miss the better path that has opened up. Flexibility is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom. A plan is not a prison. It is a tool. And tools are meant to be shaped to fit the job at hand. Growth often creates discomfort, and discomfort reveals where your plan needs refinement. For example, as you develop new skills, you may outgrow your old pace. You may find that what once challenged you no longer pushes you forward. Or you may discover that you need different habits to support a larger ambition. A plan designed for a beginner won't serve someone who has become more capable. If you keep using the old plan, you will eventually feel bored, stuck, or frustrated. This discomfort is not a sign to quit. It is a sign to upgrade your plan to match your new level of potential. Your environment will change as well. When you grow, the people around you may change, the responsibilities you carry may change, and the opportunities available to you may multiply. This shift requires your plan to adapt. A plan created when you had little knowledge, few connections, or limited resources should not be the same plan you use when you've gained more experience, more clarity, or more tools. Your environment either supports your plan or challenges it, and understanding this relationship is essential. An evolving plan takes into account the shifting landscape around you and finds ways to navigate it. Another critical reason your plan must evolve is that your understanding of your goals deepens with time. What you want becomes clearer the more you work toward it. A goal that begins vaguely, like wanting success, freedom, or a better life, becomes more defined as you take action. You begin to understand what kind of success fits you, what kind of freedom matters to you, what version of a better life feels right, and as your understanding sharpens, your plan must reflect that clarity. A clearer vision requires a more refined strategy. Without updating your plan, you may chase a goal that no longer matches who you've become. Your plan should also evolve because you gain new information with every step you take. Experience reveals truths that imagination cannot. You may realize certain tasks take longer than expected, or that certain habits are harder to maintain. You may find strategies that once seemed promising no longer serve your progress. These discoveries are gifts, not obstacles. They give your plan accuracy. Every time you learn something new, you are being invited to adjust your approach. A rigid plan ignores these lessons. A flexible plan incorporates them and becomes stronger. One of the quiet dangers of sticking to an outdated plan is the illusion of progress. You might feel productive because you are following a plan, but if the plan no longer aligns with your goals, your activity becomes empty movement. You stay busy but not effective. Updating your plan ensures that your actions are meaningful. It ensures that your energy is directed toward outcomes that matter today, not outcomes that mattered in the past. As you grow, your values may shift too. What you once prioritized may no longer be your highest priority. What once motivated you may no longer hold the same power. When your values change, your plan must adjust to reflect those deeper shifts. A plan that contradicts your current values will exhaust you. A plan aligned with your present values will energize you. This alignment creates harmony between your goals and your inner compass. Your plan must evolve because growth reveals blind spots you didn't know you had. With every step you take, you gain a wider perspective. From a higher vantage point, you can see further. You can spot mistakes more clearly. You can understand patterns that were hidden before. The more you grow, the more clearly you see the road ahead. Updating your plan with this new perspective leads to smarter choices, better timing, and more strategic actions. Even your pace of progress will change over time. Some seasons require patience and slow advancement. Others offer momentum and rapid growth. A wise plan adapts to these seasons. It respects the rhythm of progress. It doesn't force results during a season of learning, nor does it slow down when life opens the door for acceleration. A flexible plan allows you to work with life instead of against it. Your plan should also evolve because you become more self-aware as you grow. You learn what motivates you best, what environments help you thrive, what habits support your energy, and what routines drain it. A plan built without self-awareness is based on guesswork. A plan updated with self-awareness becomes a powerful roadmap that aligns with your natural tendencies, strengths, and rhythms. The more you understand yourself, the more precisely you can design your plan. Another reason your plan must evolve is that opportunities expand as your confidence increases. When you first begin, the opportunities available to you might be limited because you are building your foundation. But as you stay consistent, as your skills sharpen and your mindset strengthens, doors begin to open that were previously shut. These new opportunities require your plan to shift direction. A plan that once focused on survival may now focus on expansion. A plan that once focused on learning may now focus on leadership. Growth expands possibility, and possibility invites a new plan. The world around you will continue to change. Industries shift, technology evolves, markets grow or shrink, and society transforms. A plan that does not evolve becomes outdated and ineffective. Adaptability ensures you remain relevant. The ability to update your plan based on new realities is one of the greatest advantages a person can have in a rapidly changing world. Your plan must also evolve because mastering something often reveals a deeper level of mastery. What once felt advanced eventually becomes basic. And when that happens, it's time to aim higher. Growth naturally creates new expectations. With each new skill, each completed milestone, each level of success, your plan should reflect your expanding capabilities. A plan that grows with you keeps your life aligned with your potential. It ensures that as you rise, your strategy rises too. It keeps you from settling, drifting, or repeating the same year again and again. A plan that evolves becomes a map that leads you toward the highest version of yourself, step by step, as you continue to grow.